Tonight, we are going in depth on State Superintendent Ryan Walters' plans to change how testing is being done in Oklahoma public schools. It seems that the superintendent has now changed the way he wants to change testing, and your kids are going to be tested some way after all. Let's start with Dylan Brown from our news partner KFOR in Oklahoma City about what he's found down there. And then afterwards, we'll look at how many Tulsa Metro school districts say the information they're receiving from the State Department of Education about any testing changes is minimal.
Exciting news today for Oklahoma parents. We are ending government state testing in the state of Oklahoma.
Superintendent Walters now changing his tune again. Instead of ending end-of-year testing, he's replacing it with something that could cost more money and take more time. Starting this year, he plans to approve vendors to conduct these tests that districts choose. That means over 500 contracts with these vendors. Since his announcement, parents have been concerned.
If we're going to reshape this and reinvent it, which I think a lot of people agree it needs to be reinvented, you need to bring people to the table who know what they're talking about.
Groups like OEQA, Oklahoma Educational Quality and Accountability, they say they weren't brought to the table, and testing is a major part of their job. They say they're not against reshaping testing, but have some concerns. 26 of them. They emailed this to Superintendent Walters, like costs for 500-plus district contracts. They say would be more than what we spend now, which goes with another concern, wasted taxpayer money. The work with the new tests would require a, quote, huge budget increase. Lawmakers have been concerned with the costs.
We spend a lot of resources on that end-of-the-year testing, and I don't think that it's the best use of our tax dollars.
Couple with that, the negative equity impact among districts, meaning poor districts don't have as many resources already. Now they'd have to select, procure, implement, and maintain a vendor assessment. His new plan means much of the burden lies on districts. They have to pick from a list of State Department of Education approved vendors that OEQA would also then have to approve. And the deadline for districts to pick from them is in 4 months.
This is a long process that involves planning, and I don't see a plan.
Dylan reached out to the State Department of Education with several questions regarding the Office of Educational Quality and Accountability's concerns. They did not get back to him. Meanwhile, I've asked Tulsa Metro school districts if they've received any new guidance or instructions about changes to state testing since Walters made his announcement. I found many of them are conducting business as usual until they are formally approved by lawmakers and the State Board of Education. That's a problem because Walters has said on this very station last week he thinks he can do all of this without them.
We are ending government state testing in the state of Oklahoma.
1 week after State Superintendent Ryan Walters announced major changes coming to standardized testing, many districts are finding themselves still waiting for specifics on the plan.
In this case, we just kind of wait to see where things fall, and then we plan accordingly.
TPS Superintendent Dr. Ebony Johnson says there have been concepts of what changes could look like, but nothing firm yet from the State Department of Education. So as of right now, TPS says testing will still happen.
So we will have an end-of-the-year assessment. We typically would have what's called the Oklahoma School Testing Program that's given to us by the state and mandated that we give in reading and math. Instead of that, we're actually going to have the flexibility of looking at various assessments, choosing which one works best for our district, and actually giving that assessment instead.
But while there's plenty of media coverage and even direct emails to parents, some Tulsa Metro districts tell Fox 23 they haven't heard much from the superintendent's office.
I received it as a parent. He didn't even send it out to districts. He sent it out to parents. What is a parent going to do? And why are you sending that to me?
I reached out to Tulsa, Union, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Owasso, and Sand Springs Public Schools. Bixby and Glenpole did not respond to our request for comment. Sand Springs simply told me the situation is, quote, developing, and they couldn't comment further. Owasso says they've received something from the State Department of Education, but it was not ready to communicate changes with parents yet, and they want more details. Quote, district leaders are open to exploring new approaches to student assessment. We are reviewing new information from the Oklahoma State Department of Education and are carefully evaluating how any proposed changes might impact our students, teachers, and community. In a statement, Broken Arrow Public Schools says they don't have many details right now either. They believe kids are more than just test scores and are eager for change, but they, quote, have a responsibility to uphold state and federal laws that govern our organizations until those can be changed, hopefully for the better. Jinx Public Schools says they are excited for change, but cannot implement anything until the state legislature gives final approval. They received an initial email and said in a statement, quote, "Our professional educators have pushed for more relevant means of assessing student progress to and using the results to immediately adjust instruction for student learning. We are hopeful these changes will be made for more meaningful assessment of student academic growth." Union Public Schools says they have not communicated anything with parents because actual details on testing changes have been few and far between. Quote, "For now, we are in a holding pattern until we receive confirmation that any proposed changes have been approved by lawmakers and the State Board of Education."
Yeah, I mean, we've met every requirement of every state statute.
Walters says he's already cleared testing changes with the federal government, but we did some digging and found out he has only submitted a request to make changes. It has not been approved yet. Right now, testing is mandated by state law, which will need State Board of Education and state lawmaker approval before anything changes in actual classrooms. OSDE drafted a frequently asked questions document for parents to review about the changes, but Fox 23 is told by state lawmakers in both parties, until any changes get proper approval, the document means nothing. It has been a summer full of headline-grabbing promises made by State Superintendent Ryan Walters. Promises he needs approval from the State Board of Education and sometimes even state lawmakers to actually carry out. Some promises already shown can't be kept. The first promise came right here on Fox 23 last June. The superintendent said on my program that country music singer Lee Greenwood was going to donate a plethora of God Bless the USA or Trump Bibles to Oklahoma school children for the coming school year. He went on national cable news asking people to donate money to Greenwood. We have seen no announcement on that, and school has already started for many. He is also currently blocked by the state Supreme Court for using state funds to buy any Bibles. Walters' free school lunch program announcement last month will also not take effect in time for this school year. State school board members said his math did not add up and they did not vote to approve it last month. State lawmakers also said they need to be involved and also had concerns. Walters sent out a welcome back to school message promising free meals to statewide today, but no districts have actually implemented his plan either. Walters promised a PragerU exam to test if teachers coming to Oklahoma from blue states are woke. The state board did not approve on that, and Fox 23 is told by lawmakers in both parties a vote is needed to make an administrative rule to allow such a test. That vote won't even happen until spring, should the board approve it. Walters promised the opening of the American Virtual Academy, Oklahoma's first non-woke online charter school. The Oklahoma Tax Commission denied the application for that school to be approved for Oklahoma's voucher system for many reasons. One being that it did not have State Board of Education approval, and its mailbox address was a P.O. box inside an Oklahoma City packing and shipping store, not an actual school. And now Walters is attempting to change standardized testing on his own, and lawmakers in both parties say he needs to work with them and the state board to make changes. We could see, if this is going to happen, a formal vote at the next State Board of Education meeting on August 28th. But Walters has said he does not need board or lawmaker approval. I asked Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt yesterday, and you may have seen it on this program, who appoints members of the State Board of Education, about all of these promises being made to Oklahomans by a state official without getting proper board approval. He said all of these promises are meant to grab headlines for Walters and not create actual change for schools.
The reason people get so frustrated with politics is they can see right through it. People are trying to run for their next job, they're trying to run for their next office, instead of actually focusing on doing what's right for Oklahomans. And that was just those are political stunts to get their names in the paper, and they have no real message on actually educating kids. So when I see that happening, I'm going to do what I can to say, hey, that's not cool. Let's put board members in there that are going to actually ask some questions and make sure that we don't go along with that nonsense, those press statements.
The superintendent has made a lot of promises on social media and cable news this summer, despite him saying he doesn't need to work with the State Board of Education and state lawmakers. That's the only way he's going to get any of this passed, however. If you don't believe me, go online and look up the law. It is right there in black and white, which is why I want you to tune in to In Depth tomorrow. Joining me on the program for the first time for his first unedited interview is Republican Senate Education Committee Chairman State Senator Adam Pugh. Pugh is one of a handful of lawmakers who has been heavily involved in crafting education policy at the Capitol in recent years. I will ask him about Walters trying to go around him and other lawmakers to implement these big promises and what he wants parents to know about all of these flashy announcements that so far have not produced any fruit for Oklahoma families. We will post the full interview on YouTube after it airs.